This is Bumper to Bumper, the car show. Drive in anxious and cruise out confident. With the best automotive information for your vehicle. And now your hosts, Matt Allen and Dave Riccio.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Saturday morning edition of Bumper to Bumper Radio. Might be a little bit different show today. I don't know what's going to happen. This is Matt Allen, your KTAR car guy, and your host today, Dave Riccio, is out on vacation. He's probably driving home from San Diego as my guest, so maybe with any luck, he's listening so I can give him a little rib here and remind him not to run out of gas this time.
I was just going to ask, does he have enough gas in the tank?
Yeah, I think he knows how to read the fuel gauge on that Jeep nowadays. They've had it around long enough to get used to it. We're going to have a guest in studio. Right now I'm flying solo, but we've got Dave Denman from Dave's Car Care, one of the bumper-to-bumper shops. He is going to come in and to have some conversation. I know he just pulled up late into the parking lot. I could see him out through the window, so he'll be joining us shortly. So again, Bumper to Bumper Radio, we're here for you every single Saturday at 11 to help you with your car. So it doesn't matter if you've got a question about a repair. Maybe your car's in the shop right now and you have a question that needs to be answered. You're not really sure. Maybe you're looking to buy a new car, maybe get a used one. You know, I get a lot of questions sometimes about how do I sell my new car, or how do I sell my used car? You know, people don't like to have people come into the house all the time and, you know, and doing that kind of stuff. So we can talk about that. So 602-277-5827, 602-277-KTAR is how you get a hold of the show. And look what the cat just drug in. We got Dave Denman here from Dave's Car Care. He is one of the bumper-to-bumper radio shops who's joining us today. So I do have a Dave in here, just not Dave Riccio. Mr. Denman, how are you?
I'm doing wonderful, and thank you for the privilege to fill in today.
You're welcome. Good to have you here. So take a minute. Let's, I don't know what we're going to talk about today. We can talk about anything anybody wants to talk about that gives us a call. But Dave, tell us a little bit about Dave's Car Care. I know you got a history over there in Glendale. You want to give us a little plug?
Well, yeah, we're fortunate enough that we've been able to serve the city of Glendale for 37 years. We have a community that supports us, and we reciprocate back in supporting the community in many aspects. We have a team of 5 ASE Master Certified Technicians. We pride ourselves in being your dealership alternative. And so if you've got a question, you need a second opinion, or you need a referral, we're available just like the whole bumper-to-bumper network.
You know, that's one thing you say, referral, Dave. And, well, let's just back up a little bit at Dave's Car Care. I mean, that's quite a feat, 37 years on the same corner. You know, I remember when I just opened my shop, it was 1995, and I remember Dave Denman pulling in that green Chevy truck, and I thought, oh, my, pulls right to the front door like he owns the joint. And, we had some mutual friends that we didn't know we had. So Dave, they told Dave, hey, you got to go see this Matt guy and see what he's all about. And Dave pulls up. I was all intimidated. He's like, young man. And, look at Dave. He's a little bit intimidating, especially when you're 25, and you've only been open for a little bit. And we talked about business and learned something from him then. And we've become great friends over the years. So it's good to have you in again, Dave. But you said something about the referrals. And I think that's something that people don't know, that just because we don't tint windows or just because we don't fix interior, we know people.
Oh, absolutely. I saw an article in USA Today that was the subject of the article was how to find a repair facility and not get taken advantage of. And the whole thing based itself around go to who you know that knows somebody that's in the business that's built a relationship. And that relationship word, everybody doesn't really understand how important that is in the service industry. Because if you are going to someone that you have a referral from, that the people have a history, your chances of success are great. The coupons, what do you know? How do you know about them?
Yeah.
Who do you know who they are? Who's in the bays?
Yep. And I always say good people can have good coupons. I mean, great shops can have low-price coupons, because at some point we all need to introduce ourselves to new people. I mean, we have to cast out a fishing net. But you're right. The 1995 oil change maybe isn't the best spot. Bad shops can have good coupons. Good shops can have bad coupons. But you're right. You know, the guy at the water cooler, maybe looking at the referrals to check the reviews. But I'll tell you what, you got to take some of those bad reviews with a grain of salt too. I mean, I think we did talk about some reviews a couple weeks ago. But you're right, David. It just goes back to having the relationship and having the trust. I mean, you know, I hate to say it, we had a customer this week that we had to invite to not come back. We just didn't want to work on their car. And part of the process, you know, we didn't talk much we didn't talk any before the show, Dave. We don't know what we're talking about. We're going to make this up as we go along. But, you know, we were making a transmission repair in a car, a very minor thing. It was a diagnostic that was part of it and some intermittent problems. And we had a suggestion for a repair and an inspection. It amounted to about $400. And in the grand scheme of things, I mean, $400 is a lot of money, so don't get me wrong. But in an auto repair world, that's really nothing. You don't get very far on a broken car with $400. And this gentleman wanted a detailed, itemized estimate. And I said, you know what? For $400, I'm not doing it. If you want to write it down on a piece of paper, you got 2 filters for $25 each. Maybe one of them was $27 and one was $30. You know, $12 gasket, $75 of the fluid, and $100 and whatever in labor. You know, and I told the guy, you know, after we talked about it, we got the okay to fix the car. We did the repairs. He didn't understand it, and it was just the same question over and over. I said, have you ever been on a date and you just know it wasn't going well, so you just ended it after dinner? And I said, I think dinner's over. There's this wall between us already, and we just haven't got started. Dave?
Well, Matt, you know, when you have a vehicle comes in with an intermittent issue, it's not consistent in its failure that the technician can capture it. The one thing about the automotive business is, and it's like anybody that goes to work, time is money. You sit down at the desk to perform your duty. You expect to be on the clock and producing income. For some reason, the automotive industry has attracted this phenomena that somehow we work on cars for free. We're going to give an estimate for free, which might require the tear down, the inspection. I think there's a history of certain transmission facilities that will say, well, we know there's an issue. Why don't you give us permission to go ahead and disassemble the car? At that point, we'll give you a prize.
Yeah.
Well, at that point, you are against the wall. Now, in today's world, with technology and that, we can quote a price for an overhauled transmission. We can quote a price for an overhauled motor. But it's interesting when you have a doctor that's practicing medicine or an attorney that's practicing law. I don't think in either one of those situations that you're going to get the fact that, you know, we're going to win this case.
Yeah, or we're going to cure that cancer.
We're going to cure that cancer.
Whatever ails you.
There is a process, and I think that, you know, when we go back to that finding a good automotive repair facility, I think a lot of that has to do with just open your eyes about your drive back and forth to work or to the grocery store. You see facilities. Do you see a continuous amount of new cars coming in and going and getting fixed, or do you see the same old cars sitting around with a pile of dust on them? But I do think that it is so important today that relationship, that you have to go into it knowing that it's going to be a long-term relationship. There's going to be bumps in the road. Dave's going to make a mistake, but Dave's integrity shows himself when we say, you know what, it was a parts failure. It was an oversight. We're going to fix it.
I mean,
here's a loaner car. Yeah, we are human, and the fact is the manufacturing of parts, there are defective parts. So I think, again, you know, the one success that we've had, we formulate, build a relationship, and we're not really interested in trying to find somebody based upon what I call the fishing expedition with the 1695 oil change or the 1995 AC service, because quite frankly, I cannot do you justice, put a quality technician on a job like that and give you a good outcome.
Yeah, I know, you're right. And there's lots of ways to look at that, but you're right. I mean, it costs, heck, the guy that drives the You call it pick your service, the plumber, the roto-rooter, the geek squad, the whatever it is. The geek squad's riding around in a $20,000 Volkswagen Jetta in a laptop, and they come to your house at $150. And what you said about people not this phenomenon that thinks that auto repair people work for free. I mean, they scream and we're $125 an hour. We're in a $1 million piece of property. We've got $400,000 worth of equipment. We've got continuous education, and in a lot of ways, I mean, much bigger consequences being a physician, obviously, but there's many parallels when it comes to servicing the human being. I mean, my wife's a physician. I know how that system works. I'm not professing to know health, but the process of talking to people, making the appointment, making a diagnosis, making a suggestion, and this one case that I thought was pretty rich coming from the attorney, but he wanted a guaranteed diagnosis and an exact amount. And then we talked about his profession. And when I found out what his profession was, because he told me, I just laughed, because no attorney is ever guarantee you're going to win a case, and no attorney is ever going to guarantee you exactly what it's going to cost. But you want to hold me to those standards. Very, very tough to do.
I mean, time is money. And a gentleman, we just had an incident where we had to call out an audio specialist for the system that we have in our home. Two things weren't functioning. I got the bill. It's $129.95. It was for 40 minutes on site, gone. And like you said, he drove up with a van. He had a laptop. I don't believe he pays a subscription service to the manufacturers that he can get information for technology.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think the tooling and the equipment was there. Granted, the guy's talented.
He's got knowledge. I mean, there's intellectual property there. But, but I can tell you one thing that's guaranteed in the automotive repair industry, Dave, is your battery's going to die someday. So what you need to do is when you're in your shop, when you're out cruising around, or if you're at the shop, I know we test the batteries on every single car. I think most shops do nowadays. I know most of the bumper-to-bumper shops do. So if you're riding around with a battery that you think sounds a little bit weird when you start the car, or maybe it's 2.5 years old, do yourself a favor. Check out interstatebatteries.com and take a look. There's many of the bumper-to-bumper radio shops have Interstate batteries. They're warranted coast to coast. You can find the Megatron Plus battery. You don't want to be the guy that we're coming on vacation. This is the time of year we have more battery failures than any other one. Don't be the guy on vacation stuck at the gas station in Blythe headed to California. So when we come back, 602-277-5827. It's 602-277-KTAR. And if you'd like to text us, it's 411-923. We'll be right back.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A+ rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20+ years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
3 world-class resorts and 6 award-winning golf courses. That's what awaits you at the J.W. Marriott Luxury Golf Group. In Scottsdale, the legendary J.W. Marriott Camelback Inn and Golf Club with 36 holes of renowned golf at the Herds and Fry Ambiente and Arthur Hills Padre courses. In Tucson, the scenic J.W. Marriott Star Pass Resort and Spa with 27 holes of Arnold Palmer Signature Golf. And in Phoenix, the Faldo and Palmer courses at the spectacular Wildfire Golf Club at the J.W. Marriott Desert Ridge Resort. Come experience the J.W. Marriott Luxury Golf Group.
Who can you trust here in the Valley to repair your ride? This is Bumper to Bumper Radio. KTAR News on 92.3 FM.
Hey, it's really easy to get some help with your car this morning. Talk about working for free. That's what Dave Denman and I are here doing for you today, is helping you with your car. And we'll give you all the advice you need. 602-277-5827 is 602-277-KTAR. And again, I am Matt Allen, host of Bumper to Bumper Radio today. Dave Riccio is on vacation, but we're always here for you. Every Saturday at 11 or 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at bumpertobumperradio.com. So, Dave, the relationship is what the auto repair thing is all about. And I often tell people, I'll talk about another car that got taken out yesterday on the tow truck. Nice little Acura came in. Man, this guy overheated the car. So what is probably one of the biggest big repair jobs that can be prevented? Dave, probably overheating.
Overheating, and that's exactly it. Once that vehicle, and it's got either a light, a bell, a gauge, the best thing you can do is pull over, and if you've done due diligence and have roadside service somewhere, that's the best thing you can do to protect yourself in those instances. But you're going to end up with a major repair bill if you continue to drive a car in an overheated condition, and they're probably not going to like the news when they hear cylinder head gaskets,
Yep.
machine shop, and I don't know, Matt, when's the last time you've done one below $2,500?
Well, that's funny that you say that, because that was the magic number. So this Acura comes in yesterday. The thing got so hot it melted the plastic radiator. 140,000 miles. This particular car does not have a timing belt. It has a timing chain, and which has to come off when you do the cylinder head gasket. So we look up the parts, we look up the labor. That head has to come off and go to a machine shop that can disassemble it, pressure check it, because probably it got so hot that it warped. You have to have a perfectly good surface between the engine block and the cylinder head. So we kind of estimate what we think the machine shop is going to cost and throw in, car's got 140,000 miles. In my estimate, I'm including some cost for heater hoses and stuff like this. So my estimate comes up around $3,500, $3,300 and some change, but I didn't have some other things in there, some heater hoses. So I told the gentleman, I said, we're probably about $4,000. Oh my God. So I said, well, here's the deal. My estimate currently is $3,300. I got a few things I need to add in there, but I need some wiggle room. This is a big job, and we don't know what we're going to find. And the other thing we don't know is what made this car overheat in the first place. We suspected he had a cooling fan problem, but I hadn't yet priced out a cooling fan. So we went over in great detail, and I explained to him my philosophy. If I'm going to fix your car, this is a relationship now, and we're kind of married. And if I'm going to be married to this car because we do this big repair job, it's going to be done right. Proactive. I don't want to be nickel and diming to death for the next 6 months because you come back and that heater hose that we could have replaced now blew and maybe compromise the new cylinder head job. So I said I would much rather overestimate this job and have you think I'm too expensive and tow it out than underestimate to try to keep you here and then call you up and ask you for $1,000 more that you don't have. That's bad. So this guy got a competitive estimate over the telephone. Something that is bad idea. Nobody's seen the car. So he calls the shop and says, hey, got a blown head gasket on my Acura. How much? About $2,500. So he called back, toning it out. We said, what are they doing? Well, they're doing the same thing. Well, what do you mean? Well, I don't know what they're doing. So you got a price from something you don't know. It's not an apples-to-apples comparison. So, folks, you got to be careful with that. So, Dave, I think we better hit some phone calls. We've got some people piling up here. And I think the first one is going to be Jesse. Actually, Jesse wants to chime in. Jesse is a body shop owner, it looks like, and maybe he's got some insight on the body shop end of the industry you might want to share for a quick second. What's up, Jesse?
Hey, good morning, guys. Thank you very much for taking the call.
What's going on? What did you want to mention something about?
You guys were talking about how, a lot of customers, they just want the cheap deal, and they expect us to work for free. I own a small company here, collision repair, fender bender AZ, and we go through the same thing. A lot of people go up to these fly-by-night shops, and they get an estimate to do a bumper, and it's just a award estimate. It's $200. And when it comes to collision, just like in the mechanical industry, there's a lot of things that need to be taken into account rather than just what somebody says it is as far as the breakdown and stuff like that. And, just wanted to agree with you guys that a lot of people just don't realize how much work it is to actually get something done right rather than just shoot a price that you think you're going to get a good deal, and then you end up with a, less than quality job or something like that. I get yelled at all the time, oh, my God, those prices are insane. And, when it comes to dealership prices, I'm usually about 25, 30% less.
Right. Well, and that's the thing, too, in the body shop industry, a lot of people don't understand. I see body shops, I drive around town a lot, you see, we will save your $1,000 deductible. I got to tell you what, folks, if you're saving $1,000 on a body shop repair because somebody's eating the deductible, you're the only one eating that deductible. You ought to pay the $1,000 because what you're eating is garbage. The insurance companies have got these body shops under their thumb so hard, and they're controlling the prices. There is not $1,000 of wiggle room in a job. So what you're doing, you're not, if let's just say it's a $5,000 repair, you're not getting a $5,000 repair for $4,000. I'm telling you, just like the cylinder head gasket that we did, you're not getting a $4,000 job for $2,500.
Well, Matt, you talk about the body shop, and I sympathize with them, but it's the same thing that you're talking about the cylinder head job. You can go ahead and do all your due diligence, quote that gentleman the price down, and then you get the call from the machine shop that says, Matt, I'm here to inform you that this cylinder head is cracked in 2 different places, and we can't fix it.
Yeah, and it happens.
It does, but who has the X-ray vision? Who has the ability? And the consumers, I can understand them being in a tough spot, but we're very clear about that there could be damage that's not going to be revealed until you get to the point of teardown.
That's absolutely right. And that was another interesting part of the conversation I had with the gentleman with the Acura. And if you're joining us just now, talked about earlier in the show some of the similarities between the medical profession and the automotive profession. Obviously different. I mean, medical profession, you got one make, 2 models. I mean, how many do we have, Dave? You know what I mean? How many makes and models are there for us to work on? Not much has changed. You're not adding new options to the body. You're not getting a second heart or a third lung or, anything like that. We've got all this technology to contend with, and it's ever changing. I mean, so is the human body. But this guy with the Acura also said, well, what else could it be? What are some of the other problems? And I said, have you ever had surgery? No. I said, well, I had surgery on my wrist several years ago, and they had to tell me that I could die. Chances of dying from my thumb surgery are almost nothing, but you go under anesthesia, and there's always a possibility. So there is so much that we don't know in the auto repair industry, but there's a lot we know. I mean, it's based off history, it's experience. There's a lot of knowledge that we have in between our ears that we can't just find in a book. So Jay, Marie, Nancy maybe, and Cindy, we will get to you guys after the break. You're listening to Matt and Dave on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
It sounds like they've just had the accurate automotive experience. We're family-owned and operated and have served the Mesa, Tempe, Gilbert communities for over 22 years. We focus on building long-lasting relationships and, listening to you so that we can understand, meet, and exceed your expectations. One location, 14 bays, 88 years of automotive expertise, and a passionate commitment to customer service and excellence. My name is Lee Weatherby, and I approve this message because it's true. We love what we do, and we want to do it for you. Accurate Automotive, the home of friends serving friends.
Hi, I'm Dave Riccio, owner of Tri-City Transmission. Well, you may have come to know us for being a transmission expert. What you may not know is that our customers regularly ask us why we don't perform repairs to the rest of the vehicle. You guys are so great. Why work on just the transmission? Well, the requests became hard to ignore, and 3 years ago, we began to build an infrastructure to perform general automotive repair. We weren't going to do general repair if we couldn't be great at it. So in 2013, we began the soft opening of Tri-City Auto Repair on Smith Road. We brought on ASE Master Technicians to work side by side with our Master Transmission Technicians. The combination of the best in both of these trades has created a synergy that allows us not only to fix your transmission, but to service and repair your whole car and to do it well. Let's face it, the modern car has become so integrated. We believe all of our expert knowledge puts us ahead of the curve. Find us at TriCityTransmission.com or TempeAutoRepairShop.com. That's TempeAutoRepairShop.com.
There's nothing more important than family. Hi, Kurt Rock for Kurt's Auto Repair. Family owned and operated and bumper to bumper radio preferred. We've been taking care of Valley families and their auto care needs with a perfect Better Business record for over 27 years. Come experience the difference our ASE Master Techs can make for you and your family at Kurt's Auto Repair. Just east of I-17 at 22nd Avenue and Bell Road, or online at mycarhurts.com. Gas or diesel, foreign or domestic. If your car hurts, take it to Kurt's.
KTAR-FM, Glendale, Phoenix. KTAR News on 92.3 FM, Arizona's news station.
KTAR. On air, 92.3 FM. Online at KTAR.com. And streaming live on the KTAR News app. Your breaking news and traffic. Now.
It's 11:30. I'm Tom Perumian. Here's our top story. President Donald Trump presided over today's ceremony in Norfolk, Virginia, aboard the USS Gerald R. Ford. That's the Navy's newest nuclear-powered aircraft carrier. Before he died, former President Ford knew a carrier would be named after him. His daughter, Susan Ford Bales, officially welcomed the USS Ford to the fleet.
Officers and crew of the United States Gerald R. Ford, man our ship and bring her to life.
In other news today, actor John Hurd, best known for playing the father in the Home Alone movie series, has died at the age of 72. The actor was also nominated for an Emmy for playing a corrupt police detective in The Sopranos. His death was confirmed by the Santa Clara County Medical Examiner's Office in California on Saturday. TMZ reported that Hurd, who lived in Southern California, was found at a Palo Alto hotel where he was recovering from back surgery. Now let's get a check on traffic. Here's Mike Daniels in the KTAR Traffic Center.
Thanks, Tom. 17 southbound at Glendale Avenue. Still had that fallen tree partially blocking the left lane on the off-ramp. Wreck off to the side. Loop 101 eastbound at Cave Creek. And that crash cleared on the 17 southbound at Adams. This support brought to you by Burge Ford, proud winner of Ford's prestigious One Ford Elite President's Award for the second year in a row. Visit them at burgeford.com. I'm Mike Daniels, KTAR News.
Cloudy and 105 today. We're expecting rain and 100-degree temperatures on Sunday. Right now it's 102 in Uptown Phoenix. Weather brought to you by Howard Air. I'm Tom Perumian on Arizona's news station, KTAR News.
Whether you're a lifelong dirt road driving, tackle box toting weekend warrior or an outdoor lifestyle rookie, from the desert to the mountains of our great state, Mike Russell has the outdoors in Arizona covered. This afternoon at 1 with Get Outdoors. Only on KTAR News 92.3 FM and streaming live on the KTAR News app.
Trust. It's hard to earn and sometimes even harder to find. If you live or work in downtown Phoenix, Matt Allen's Virginia Auto Service is celebrating over 20 years of award-winning service at the corner of 7th Street and Virginia. Recognized as one of the best service shops in the country, their customers have come to trust Virginia Auto Service for its A+ rating by the BBB, 2-year 24,000-mile warranties, and free transportation to and from your home or office. 20+ years of earning your trust. Virginia Auto Service. They're serious about service.
Hi, I'm Kurt Morgan, owner of Shadow Mountain Auto Service in Phoenix. I'm also a college automotive instructor, and I've been a technician for over 30 years. In that time, I've seen all kinds of games and gimmicks in the auto repair business, the worst of which seems to be associated with transmissions. I think it's because, to most, including technicians, the inside of a transmission is a mystery. So when one of our valued customers has a transmission problem, we send them straight to Tri-City Transmission. No games, no gimmicks. That's Tri-City Transmission.
Here's what Carrie from Tempe had to say about her experience with Good Works Auto Repair.
As soon as you realize, I need to get some work done on my car, I'm sure the thought occurs to you that you're about to get taken for a ride. I used to share the same sentiment and wondered if the shop was going to make something up and have me spending hundreds of dollars instead of $30 I was planning on for a simple oil change. This is one of the reasons I will only go to Good Works Auto Repair. Because I trust them. Putting trust in an auto shop didn't come easily. It's been built over several visits with them doing exactly what was needed, not coercing me into unnecessary work. Ask them for an oil change and a safety inspection, they do just that. No baloney, list of filters, belts, and whatchamacallits that need replacing on my new car. Thank you, Good Works Auto Repair, for being there for me when I need you.
Appreciate the kind words. It's always a pleasure. Glenn Hayward here. Come experience what award-winning auto service should be. Good Works Auto Repair in Tempe, or visit us at goodworksautorepair.com.
Few cities are as car-centric as Phoenix, and this is the show that'll help you to better understand that machine you depend on to get around the valley. It's Bumper to Bumper Radio. KTAR News on 92.3 FM and the KTAR app for Android and iPhone.
Well, welcome back to Bumper Radio. I am Matt Allen. Dave Riccio is on vacation this week. Actually, where I will be next week, too. It's his turn Then it's my turn. So we've got Dave Denman. He is one of the bumper-to-bumper radio car shops. It's Dave's Car Care over in Glendale, 51st Avenue in Peoria, if my memory serves me right, Dave.
Northwest corner.
And how long you been there?
37.
37 years. Holy smokes. I got 22 going at Virginia Auto Service, and quite honestly, I've got kids that are in second grade, so guess what I'll be doing in 15 years?
You'll be working at Virginia Auto.
I'm going to be saying 37 years, and Dave Denman will have been retired for probably at least 10 of those, is my guess. So if you're in the area of Glendale and don't have a shop over there at 51st Avenue in Peoria, you know, Dave, it's interesting. There's shops peppered all around that area, but a lot of them seem to be empty. I think their reputation is taking care of that, and being right there on the corner certainly doesn't help. So, again, if you're looking for a shop, Dave's is at 51st Avenue in Glendale on the corner, and all the other bumper-to-bumper shops can be found at bumpertobumperradio.com. We've got Jay, Marie, and Nancy on the line, and we've got some open ones at 602-277-5827 at 602-277-KTAR. So we're going to go with Jay and Chandler. Has got something going on with a 4Runner, Jay. Oh, and another car. What do you got going on, Jay? You're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Thank you for taking my call. I had a couple things, and I had a solution for the buying a car.
Okay.
I have a 06 4Runner and a 04 Toyota. 04 Acura TL. The TL's got 90,000. The 4Runner has 117. Is there any reason to go to the synthetic oil, or can I just keep using regular oil? I change it every 3,000 to 5,000 miles. And the second question to that is, on these batteries, I usually write on my batteries the day that I buy them with a Sharpie, so I know the life expectancy, because I know 2 years is pretty much the rule. Some of these take water. Is it distilled water, and how often should you check it?
Yeah, it is distilled water in the battery. And, you know, I prefer batteries that you don't have to do maintenance on, because if the water, it's acid basically. If the water can go in, that means it can come out. And I like the sealed batteries. So if you can get a sealed battery, that's what I would recommend. But you should use distilled water. And if you have a battery that can vent, or you have the ability to add water to, you just need to keep the area clean. I tell people all the time, you can save $30 on a battery, but you better put that $30 in savings and start adding to it, because we'll probably see burned up wiring harnesses. We might see some leakage. I remember the old Toyotas used to leak down on the aluminum air conditioning line and burn a hole in it. Chryslers, for some odd reason, the engineers decided to put the computer right below the battery. So where does all that acid and stuff goes? Right into there. So, keep them clean. Try and get one that you don't have to add water to. But if you do, use distilled, and you don't fill it either. You don't fill the battery all the way. It's just a little bit above the plates that you can see down in there. But be careful. Wear safety glasses. Don't be, cigarette hanging out of your mouth and, working on the car. But Dave, I know what I think about synthetic oil. What do you think about the switch?
Well, I don't think it's necessary. I think you've already got an engine that you've been faithful, it sounds like to me, with your maintenance services. It's not going to gain you any benefit. You're still going to get the same service out of the oil that you're using. And, again, you're doing the right thing by being religious on your oil changes, documenting it, keeping it there. You're going to get the most out of that engine that you can. Yeah. And if you change to synthetic, the only thing it's going to be is about, in your own mind, I put synthetic in the car. Car's not going to really know the difference.
Yeah, it's not. It wouldn't know any difference. I mean, and I would say you make sure you're using a good quality conventional motor oil. I have a little bit different take than Dave does, but that's the beauty. We're all independent shop owners, and that's one thing in auto repair. You can ask 10 people, you get 7 different answers, and 4 of them are right. So my take on the synthetic oils, there's absolutely no reason to change. If the car doesn't require it, you don't need to use it. Some of the newer cars, folks, check your owner's manuals. You'd be surprised. It used to be the German cars had the synthetic oil, or maybe the Corvette, or the Mustang. But guess what? The Kia requires synthetic motor oil now. That little Volkswagen Beetle, that cute little thing with the flower pot, the dash and all that, synthetic oil. So you might be coming out of your 94 Camry, and end up in this car, and you're accustomed to that $35 oil change, but not so much anymore. But still, in his case, the only reason I would switch to a synthetic or maybe even a synthetic blend, if you do have a catastrophic failure, you have an overheat situation or something like that, I view the synthetic as just a little bit of extra protection. That might be the margin of error difference between a conventional oil, whether you spin a bearing or have something go, if you have a major overheat problem, for example. But for the most part, I would just keep on doing what you're doing, Jay. So we're going to grab Marie in Chandler. Marie is in Phoenix. She's driving a 2003 Honda, and she is also very patient. Marie, how can we help you?
Thank you for answering my call. I have a question. I drive a 2003 Honda Accord. The car is beautiful, and it runs very well, except that the last time I took it in maybe the last week in May, last May. I took it and I told the consultant that besides checking battery and everything else, that I noticed that on the dashboard there was a sketch of a ball sitting on a seat, red. Now, it comes on and off, but when they gave me the report of everything they had done, everything has check mark, I had the battery checked, I had oil added, etc. What happened is that when I start the car, it shows, and as soon as I have my belt on, it goes off. However, once in a while, it stays during the ride, 3 miles, 5 miles. And now, when I talked to the consultant about it, it was off and on. Now, it seems that during the ride, regardless of the length, it stays.
Okay.
Could you identify that for me?
Yeah, I didn't quite understand which the light was. Can you just try one more time describing the silhouette?
When I start the car.
No, I understand when you start, but describe what the light looks like to me. You said it was a silhouette?
It's a sketch of a little, let's say, a seat that has a round red ball on it.
Okay, I know what it is. That's what I thought you said. And so what that is the it's the airbag warning light or the secondary restraint system. And so what's happened, there's a failure somewhere in an airbag connection, a seat switch, a seat belt switch. But there's a couple things I want to tell you about the Honda. Honda is awesome. Lifetime, I swear I'm right. Lifetime warranty on restraint systems.
Absolutely.
So that is under warranty. Now I would say it's not their fault that they didn't see it. You mentioned it to them. It's on and off. So don't get mad at the dealer, because that light will come on and off if there's a failure. Very common problem. You see, the airbag and the safety system needs to know that you're in the car. So they've got a seat on your butt. You sit in the seat. It wants to know that there's somebody actually in the seat. That airbag, a second-generation airbag, is going to deploy differently if you have your seatbelt on. So they want to know that seatbelt is latched. So there's a switch in the seatbelt buckle, too. That's a very common failure on the Honda.
And that could possibly be under the recall of a manufacturer that has major problems with the
Takata airbag thing. But I suspect that they took care of open recalls if it was in the dealer for maintenance. So, Marie, good luck with that. Should be no big deal. I think you make your appointment with, if you've been taking it to the Honda dealer, take it over there, and it's probably and most likely under warranty. So let us know how that turns out if that fixes it for you. Hopefully that helped you today. We're going to go with Nancy is in Phoenix. She's got a 2007 Kia Spectra. Nancy, you're on Bumper to Bumper Radio.
Yes, thank you for taking my call. I've had this Kia Spectra. I bought it when it was 2 years old and had 11,000 miles on it. So I've had it essentially since then. It's got 56,000 miles on it now. I've taken really good care of it. I've always taken it to the dealership, had the oil changed, had it serviced. Recently, the dealership said you're approaching 60,000 miles, so you're due for a tune-up and a throttle body service. So I had that done. I noticed immediately after that, then, when I would fire the car up in the morning, the engine would rev up really high. And then when I would have the car out and be driving it, when I would tap on the brakes, it would lurch forward. The car just lurches forward when you tap on the brakes, and then for no reason at all while you're driving it down the street. The other day it was driving down Bell Road at 40 miles an hour, just driving itself without my foot even on the throttle.
Wow.
I took it back to the dealership. They've had it in twice. they've still got it, and they said they can't figure out what it is.
Wow.
Do you have any idea?
Well, I have some ideas, and I mean that's definitely not good for the brakes. Well, let's break this down a little bit. Let's go back to the 60,000 mile service. There's nothing wrong, and it's absolutely a standard type of service to change the spark plugs at 60,000 if that's when they're required. Now, one thing I'll tell you, and we've talked about in the past, there's different maintenance. There's a standard level of maintenance minimum that the manufacturer wants, and then we all do things like fuel injector cleaning because we know it helps the car. I guess it's kind of like taking your vitamins and going to the gym. I mean, not everybody goes to the gym and they do just fine, but you do a little better when you go to the gym and you take your vitamins. Same thing with the car. The throttle body service is probably not in the owner's manual to be done anywhere, but it's a legitimate service. So what's happening there with the throttle body, that's where the air enters the engine. And after time, that gets built up with carbon and the crankcase ventilation and oil and soot, so that needs to be cleaned off. At first, before you told us that you had to take it back and they've had it for a while, I was about to say it's probably a simple recalibration or a relearn of the throttle body, wouldn't you, Dave?
I'd say that that's probably, you're right on the mark on that one, that they just haven't went through the final step of process.
Yeah, and this is stuff that they should know. I'm confident that they do. So we don't have the big picture. So Dave and I can't sit here and say, oh, they missed that. They may very well have gone through that. I'm not sure on that car either if it's fly-by-wire. You know, we used to have a cable that attached the pedal to the throttle, like on your motorcycle or whatever. Now it's electronic. It's like the Boeing airplane.
Yep.
You step on the gas, there's an electronic motor on the throttle. Sometimes we've had it happen to us, certain cars, and we've learned our lesson. They're expensive lessons sometimes. We've ruined a throttle body or two. With the chemical gets into the electronics and ruins it. So I would probably be safe to say that they are the reason the problem's happening. Could be something coincidental. They just need to figure it out. Give them a couple shots. They owe it to you. If they can't, you're going to have to find a shop that maybe can fix it, and then there's going to have to be a discussion on who's responsible here. So good call, Nancy, but just, give them some time. It sounds like you have. Stick with them. Give them good information. Maybe you need to go down there in person and talk to them. Tell them that you're concerned. Maybe it's time to get the service manager involved, and hopefully they'll see that through for you. So we are going to take a quick break, and you'll be right back. You're listening to Matt and Dave, your KTAR Car Guys.
Are you looking for a refreshing change in customer service? I'm Lee Weatherby from Accurate Automotive. How about a refreshing change in your car repair relationship with honest, clear, and responsive service that looks out for your needs and not ours? For over 20 years, we've been delivering award-winning service provided by ASE-certified technicians with one goal, looking out for your best interest. If it needs fixing, we'll tell you. If it doesn't, you'll know that too. I guarantee that you will not get that business-as-usual treatment at Accurate Automotive. Foreign and domestic, cars, trucks, and even fleet service, Accurate can handle your job. I invite you to come in and experience a refreshing difference in car repair and maintenance. Stop by for a free courtesy inspection, a $49 value. We feel it is well worth our investment in you because we know that good long-term relationships start early with your first walk through our doors. I'm Lee Weatherby, and I'll be there to greet you. Accurate Automotive, home of friends serving friends, just off Broadway and Robeson in Mesa since 1992. For more information, check us out at AccurateAutomotiveAZ.com today.
Hi, Lisa Henry with Russ Lyon Sotheby's International Realty. Have you been thinking maybe the time is right to move, but you're not sure if you have enough equity in your home or if it really is a good time? Well, home values have increased significantly over the past few years, and interest rates are still historically low. For how long? No one knows. But for every 1% increase in the interest rate, the result is about a 10% loss in purchasing power. So it might be a really great time to sell your home and either upsize or downsize to a new home while the interest rates are still low. Contact me via my website at lisareneehenry.com or direct at 480-330-9530 for a no-obligation market valuation on your home and to hear about our global online marketing plan designed to sell your home quickly for top dollar. Again, that's lisareneehenry.com, 480-330-9530. Come experience the difference a truly customer-focused real estate agent can make.
This is Bumper to Bumper Radio, KTAR News on 92.3 FM.
All righty, we're back for the final 10 minutes or so of Bumper to Bumper Radio. Dave Riccio's on vacation, so today you are with Matt Allen and Dave Denman from Dave's Car Care over at 51st Avenue in Glendale. And Dave's is a shop that you can trust. You can go there. You can see Dave there a lot of days, hence the name Dave's Car Care. He's a man in charge of that business, and he makes it run, and he makes it run to take care of the customer. I know how that program runs over there, and I know you do a good job, Dave, and you take care of the people in the community, too, that you don't tell anybody about, and I'm not going to do it either because I know you don't like to brag about it, but it's a man you can trust, and you can find other shops similar to Dave's over at bumpertobumperradio.com. Boy, Dave, I think we got some room for maybe we got Jim, Mary, Felix, and we might squeeze one or two more in. What do you think, Bree? Give us a shout if you're out there. You got a car question, 602-277-5827. But we're going to go with Jim in Tempe. Looks like he's got maybe a Toyota Sienna. What's going on, Jim?
Hi, good morning. Thank you for taking my call. Yes, I have a 2007 Toyota Sienna. It has a built-in navigation system with the radio in the same unit.
Yep.
A few days ago, it stopped working. The radio stopped working, and the navigation system is the display is blank. But when I drive in the evening, when I have my headlights on, the indicator lights on the knob on the buttons, it would come on about every 30 seconds, and then it will stay on for a couple of seconds, and then it kind of repeats. Does that indicate some clear things to you?
Well, I'm not sure what the light means. That might be actually flashing a little Morse code at you, Dave. We don't see very many failures on those things.
We had a Chrysler 300 in yesterday. Same issues, coming and going, not booting up. 5 software updates.
Yeah.
And then we restored the system back, and it could pick the signal up. So that's where I'd start looking, make sure there's power. If there's power, then I would be looking for some sort of...
the fact that you lost the display, because that's also, if I'm picturing that van right, I don't think it's a standalone GPS. Like my Toyota, that's the controller for the telephone, it's the control for the radio, it's that touch screen. So I would be having a hard look before you do anything at the fuses. Sometimes a penny drops down in there, a coin drops down in the cigarette lighter hole when you take your cell phone charger out, pops a fuse. It might be that fuse. We see cheap cell phone adapters cause those things to blow out. So check the simple stuff first, and then it might be just something so dumb it's easy to find. It might be this complicated mess, but you just got to start somewhere and just find a qualified shop to work on it. Over in Tempe, you've got Tri-City Transmission and Auto Repair, I should say, because they're doing it all now. Glenn over at GoodWorks can take care of you. They're right around the corner. So something don't have the answer for that one, Jim, but I know one of the bumper-to-bumper shops can help you. So we're going to go with Felix in Cave Creek, 2003 Dodge Ram. What's going on, Felix?
Hey, guys. Thank you. It's an 03 Dodge Ram, 5.7 Hemi, and I'm just starting to burn oil quite a bit. There's no oil leaks anywhere. I just bought a quart every 2 to 3 weeks. What kind of test do you think I need for this? Someone said it might be the valve seals. It might be the cracked intake manifold.
Well, it could be lots of things, but how many miles are you driving in 2 to 3 weeks?
I'm at 292.
Okay. Well, and how long have you had the truck all those miles, or the majority of them?
I have.
You have, okay.
I love this engine, love this truck.
And have you done your 3,000-mile oil changes or thereabouts?
Always.
Okay.
Always.
Dave, what do you think? What are you going to tell him when he comes into Dave's Car Care and tells you my truck's burning oil and I got darn near 300,000 miles on it? What do we do?
Well, we're going to start looking at valve stem seals on the exhaust side maybe. We're going to obviously got some wear someplace. It's just going to have to be narrowed down and see where it's coming out the exhaust. If it's not dripping on the ground, it's got to it's burning it. Yeah. So whether it's a valve stem seal or whether you got a oil ring, something of that nature. No check engine light, vehicle runs good, nothing of that. We're just got strictly probably wear.
Yeah, I mean, it might, heck, if that was a new BMW or a Volkswagen, they'd tell you it's normal. I mean, or a Mini Cooper, you've got a, some of these new cars are burning more oil than what someone might allege your worn out Dodge. But, I look at that some other ways too, Dave. No harm, no foul. So what? It's burning a little bit of oil. But what you need to do is be prepared. You love the truck. I don't know if you shopped for a 2013 or 2017 Dodge Ram lately, but I guarantee you're not going to get into one for less than $40,000.
Absolutely not.
And if you're using it for a work truck, I had another car this week. We did a major repair on. The guy was considering buying a used car. I said, you already got a used car. If you're going to spend a few grand on a used one, fix yours, because you don't know you don't know anything about this other one. Felix has owned this car or this truck the whole time. It would probably be worth spending $5,000 or $6,000 to put an engine in that.
Oh, absolutely. Especially if you know the history of the truck, just exactly you said. You've already got a used car. Why are you going to buy another used car?
Exactly.
And you don't know the devil that you're getting.
All righty, good. Okay, now I'm going to grab Sharon real quick. We got about a minute,
Hi.
Sharon. So let's go for it. What do you got on your 2003 Honda?
Okay, I took it in for service at dealer, and they did an oil change, and they always check the fluids, and apparently the cabin air cleaner and the air cleaner for the engine. Mm-hmm. Drove it home, didn't care. It's my mom's car. She's 83. I went to put her insurance information into the glove box, and I found one of the damper doors for the cabin cleaner in the glove box, so I took the glove box out and put that back. And then when I went to check her air cleaner, 3 of the screws were stripped out, and I used a screwdriver, and I couldn't get 3 of them out, and I'm not touching them until I want to address dealer with this, but I'm not quite sure what to say.
Well,
any help?
Yes, I'll try and do it quickly. Whenever you have a problem, go back and be nice. The person you're talking to probably is not the one that worked on the car. Who knows what happened? 2003 Honda. I wonder how many people have worked on that. Maybe they screwed something. Obviously, they left the door loose on the cabin air filter. The air filter screws, those do strip out, but I mean, it just, after so many times of coming in and out, I mean, can you imagine how many times that air filter has been checked? Just having the car serviced. So go in and talk to them. There might be some compromise. I mean, they're going to do something for you. You have to explain that you had to go in and fix the cabin air filter job. I think maybe they ought to give you they'll give you the money back on the labor for the cabin air filter. As far as the airbox screws, heck, we document things. We would have put that on the work order, because if we didn't write down that it was already like that, then we own it now.
Absolutely. I think it'll be a quick fix for him, and I think if you approach him in the right manner.
Yeah, that's it. Just be nice when you go in. So good luck with that, Sharon. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Mary and Rob, I'm going to grab you after the show's over here. Have a good weekend, everybody. We'll see you next week.